Hey everybody, it's Nick from Firearm Blog. I have my CMR-30 by Kel-Tec here. It's been modified with the help of my friend Brian Miller. He helped me machine some parts and spare pieces that I got from Kel-Tec. Thanks, Sean Turpin. You're awesome. I had this idea where we just get an extra upper receiver, it's just extruded aluminum, get another bottom cover, two of these bottom rails, and two barrel blocks, and I could cut down the handguard, if you will, down to the right length and just basically bolt it onto the existing one. And Sean Turpin came through, got me everything except the barrel blocks. No big deal. My friend Brian said, hey, that's easy. I could machine you a custom barrel block, and he did. So here's the extended handguard. Normally the handguard would stop right here, and this would be all barrel, but now I have an extended handguard. But that's not the purpose of today's video. Today's video is about suppressors. This is mine. This is my legally owned Silencer Co. Spectre 2. Love this can. I've used it a lot with 22s. I've shot a little bit on this gun. Shot it last November at a night match, and I had a little bit of issues with a lot of gas coming back in my face. That it actually burned my eyes, and I had to stop, pause for a moment, and continue shooting the course. But I reached out to Silencer Shop and working on their on a suppressor project with them. So they sent me this can. I've never heard of this company. It's called Bowers. Apparently they've been making cans since the 90s. But this is the Bowers USS 22, and it's very similar to the Spectre. It'll handle 22 long rifle. It'll handle 22 Magnum, 17 HMR, and 5.7 rounds. And I asked Silencer Shop, you know, what would a 5.56 can do on a 22 Magnum? Would it be better than a 22 can? I thought with a larger volume, maybe it might, I don't know, do some magic, but we'll find out. So first, let's change the flash hider out. I'm gonna go shoot my Spectre 2 first, since that is the hometown favorite. Well, it's the only one I have right now. I do have an Osprey coming. It's already arrived at my FL. I just need to submit the form for, and then I can possess it after the processing time. Okay, so I got the Silencer Co. Spectre 2 on there. I got a magazine full of 22 Magnum. I am shooting CCIs, Maxi Mags, just stuff I had lying around the house. These are 40 grains, and they're shooting 1,875 feet per second. Okay, so let's try this out. So I don't have any earplugs. Having some feeding issues here. It's not chambering the rounds. There we go. All right, we should be loaded, ready to go. Safety off. So I don't know if the camera's picking up, but I can see and smell smoke, gases coming out of here, very close to where my face is. Now the stock is fully extended out. Oh, there we go. One more notch. So obviously it's a supersonic round, and it's not going to muffle the supersonic crack once it goes supersonic. But it's hearing safe. I don't have any ears on. So let's take that out. So not bad. Now let's try with the Bowers can. See how well it works. Nope, loaded. All right, going hot. This is the Bowers USS 22 can on a CMR-30. Huh, very interesting. I think the Spectre 2 is actually a little bit quieter. I noticed when I shot this, I can hear the echoing throughout the valley. Now the Bowers is kind of neat. It has this gigantic wrench, and you can change out this end cap, the threaded end cap, and change the thread pitch for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. I don't own that many rimfire guns or check the threaded barrels to see if they're running more than 1/2 by 28 or something else. All my 22s all have 1/2 by 28, so I don't really know why you would need to change this out so often for different threadings, but it is possible. I'm not sure if Silencer Co. makes other threaded end caps. Mine has 1/2 by 28. They might have it available. I don't know. One thing I did notice while playing with this last week, screwing the can on and screwing it back off, this threaded end cap comes loose quite too often, and the end cap is a little bit stuck on the barrel of the gun, and I misplaced this, and it was a pain in the butt to get off. I had to use pliers, and that was fine, but it's like, it's kind of annoying. Whereas the only time that's ever happened with my Spectre 2, I've never had this little end cap unscrew itself. It's more on like my PPK 22, where there's a threaded adapter that screws on, and it would get sort of stuck on the threads, and it would unscrew the adapter off of the threaded barrel of the PPK 22, because a PPK 22 doesn't have a threaded barrel. There's an end cap that you unscrew off, and there's a real tiny threading on there, and you screw an adapter on there, and that's what gives you the 1/2 by 28. So now the next step. So I kind of know baseline what this is doing, what the Bowers is doing. Now we're going to try the big can, the Surefire. I do like the Surefire because of its quick detach functionality. Just a quick safety note, I just realized I should not be complacent. I really should be emptying out the sorts of ammo, ejecting that round out. I had it on safety. I was messing with the muzzle device with it loaded. Not the best idea, so just letting you know, I caught myself. I'll try not to do that some more. It's easy to get complacent and think, oh, it's fine, it's on safe, my finger's on the trigger, but you know what, why take the risk, okay? So, tighten that thing down just a little bit. Let me see if this is the same. Oh, that's kind of cool. So, tighten that down. Now, this is the part I like a lot about this can design. And I don't have that much experience with cans other than my Spectre 2, but this is cool. I mean, it slides on, you kind of spin it until there's a little keyed section. There's a lobe right here, and then inside here there's a notch, and that indexes onto the can. What's going on? There we go. So you kind of spin it, and then it drops in, and it won't spin anymore. And then you just turn this, click, 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 done. It's tight. It's not coming off. Now the weight is obviously much more than these nice little skinny cans, because this is a 5.56 can by Surefire. It's the SOCOM 2, right? Yeah, Surefire SOCOM 5.56 RC2 caliber and 5.56. I've shot it on my AR, shooting 5.56 out of it. It's not that quiet. Obviously, it's cutting down a lot of that noise, so it is hearing safe, but indoors or under a roof, it still bounces a lot of that noise down, and it's not the most comfortable of cans. But that's not why I asked Silencer Shop to send it out to me. I wanted to test it on the CMR-30 to see if a bigger, fatter can might, you know, contain more of the gases and the pressure. Maybe it changes something with the pitch. That. Yep, I am loaded. All right. Whoops. Going hot. Safety off. Not bad. I'd say it's a hair slightly quieter than these. Try it again. Yeah, about the same. Not a big difference. I just realized something. I didn't really notice that much gas coming out of the Bowers compared to when I was shooting my Spectre 2. I really noticed the gas back pressure coming back and kind of like, you know, going to my nose and whatnot. But I didn't really notice it at all with the Surefire. So let's try the Surefire can. Loaded. I'm gonna rapid fire some rounds and see if I get gas in the face. Oh yeah. You can see just gas pouring out of the chamber. I can smell it. So it's not stinging me in the eyes like the Spectre 2 would. So I guess with the larger volume they can, it is helping a little bit, letting a little more gas leak out the front and not building so much pressure back. Let's try it again. What's going on? Yeah, still I'm getting a little gas to the face, and it's closed and it's just leaking gas out of the gun. All right. Boom! Look at that. How cool is that? It just comes right off. Now, I'm gonna shoot without my hearing protection just to see how loud it is. Yeah, that's loud. It's now ringing my ear a little bit. So yes, interesting test. I don't want to do that again. Interesting, I heard it more from my left ear than I did with my right ear. I'm not sure why, but my left ear had a little bit faint ring to it. Much better shooting suppressed than not shooting suppressed. But that's an obvious just choice, right? But hey, it's a 22 Magnum. I've never really shot without ears off. Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable. So I set up the CMR-30 with magneto speed V3. My friend Ryan Hay, thank you so much for getting this out to me to try out. So one thing I was really curious about is testing velocities, and I don't have a chronometer. And my friend Ryan Hay works for magneto speed, and it's a cool setup. As you can see, it's a strap that straps onto your barrel, or in this case, the suppressor. Now there is a silicone protective shield thing, but I'm only shooting 22 Magnum, and I'm shooting a whole lot, so I don't think it's gonna get too hot and burn that strap compared to shooting like a 5.56 can with 5.56. So I've only shot 2 shots. It's reading 1,815, and then the next one was 1,839. That's 2 shots. I'm gonna shoot 8 more shots, so a total of 10, and get an average velocity out of this Surefire can. Interesting. So one of the shots was as low as 1,711 feet per second, and the highest was 1839. Considering this says 1875, there's going to be some inconsistencies. So average was 1793. Let's put this on safe. I'm going to eject the mag out, spit the rounds out. 2 shots left out of this mag. Now we're going to test the velocities out of the Bowers and the Spectre, 10 shots each, to see if the cans, how they're affecting. Now, the one downside is because I have this long handguard on. I tried, and there is a Picatinny rail adapter that you can mount the magneto speed to the rail. Unfortunately, it's just a little too far away from the flight of the path of the bullet. The magneto speed works with creating a magnetic field with 2 different electromagnets. And as the bullet passes through, it registers anything metallic breaking that magnetic field. Now, the most crucial aspect to this is getting the flight path of the bullet close to the flight deck as possible. Now there's a little check rod thing, and I got this as close as I could. In fact, I actually tried to raise it up, the rod in the path of the bullet. So it's really as close as possible to the 22 Magnum round as possible. But when I tried it, off camera, I tried mounting this to the Picatinny rail, and it just can't go high enough to get into the flight path of the bullet. So unfortunately, I can't do a base reading of what this gun does with this ammo velocity wise. I could if I remove the handguard and attach it physically to the barrel, which I might do on a later day, but I don't have the tools for that, and I'm kind of lazy, don't want to do that right now. Did 2 test shots off camera just to make sure that the magneto speed V3 is reading off my Spectre 2. It is. So I have 8 more shots left in here. Stick them in there. So you can see Spectre 2 with the magneto speed V3 Bayo chronograph. So let's test some velocities. Again, still shooting the CCI Maxi Mag 22 Magnum. Shots. About the same. Maximum it was 1839, minimum was 1752, an average of 1797. So really not a big change in velocity with the Surefire can over the Spectre 2 can. Let's save that series. Boop. Success. And we're going to go put the Bowers can on and see if that affects velocity in any way. Okay, so I just reinstalled the Bowers can, USS 22. Got 10 rounds of 22 Magnum. I'm not going to do any test shots, I'm just do it on camera. So you can see the Bowers 22 can with the magneto speed. This is empty. New mag, bolt closed, chambered, going hot, ready to go. Shooting high into the right a little bit. Interesting. Closer range, it's pretty good. Yep, 10 shots. Okay. Average on this was a little bit higher. One of the maximums was actually 1873, very close to the advertised 1875 feet per second. Minimum was 1736, a little higher, so the average was 1813 out of the Bowers can. Is that indicative of the can allowing the round to shoot faster, or is it maybe just that smaller batch? I don't know. I don't really know enough about bullets and how the physics work with suppressors. But interesting, 1813 was the average out of the Bowers can.